What's up, Rythmia Nation? This is Dr. Jeff, Chief Medical Officer at Rythmia Life Advancement Center. So, it's been a long couple months of amazing miracles happening down here at Rythmia. Lots of people have come, lots of shifts, amazing stories, people with anxiety, depression, addiction, trauma, life shifts, relationship issues, mental health issues, health concerns, all kinds of stuff, And a question that I get a lot when people go back home is, how do I know if I've changed? Because I'm not sure, right? I'm not certain how this whole program works when I get home. And for those of you guys that haven't been here before, there's a lot that goes on at Rythmia in a week. There's a huge shift that occurs. And I talk about this every week. It's like I did therapy with people in Los Angeles for years, 5 years, 10 years, and they made a little bit of a shift. But what happens when you do plant medicine here at Rythmia with our program that we have, the integration, is that the shift is really profound. And people get home and they wonder, how do I know if I'm growing emotionally? How do I know if I've actually got this under control? How do I know if I've really made a change? That when we send a survey to certain guests, most of our guests, when they get home 6 months later, and in the 90th percentile, they all say, this is the week that changed their life. So there's a lot of emotional growth going on at Rythmia. And how do we measure that? The way I like to describe it for you guys, because I'm right to the point. How are others perceiving you? How is your family perceiving you, your coworkers, your friends? What's their vibe on you, in your life? And, a lot of us have been struggling before we get to Rythmia. We're struggling with our career, with our own anxiety. Maybe we're on meds. We're self-medicating with drugs and alcohol, right? And there's a lot of stuff going on. How do we get to the point where we want to make a change? That has a lot to do with your own internal motivation. And if you are a person that really wants to change, and I believe everybody in the world wants to change for the better. I believe that as humans, we're people that want to make a shift and become better as people. I believe that. However, there's a lot of opposition to that. Sometimes it's, just society in general. Sometimes it's our family, it's our trauma we come from. And if I want to make a shift, I really have to focus and get clear about what I want to do. And that's not easy because I'm not sleeping a lot. I used to live in New York. I grew up in Los Angeles, but I lived in New York. And the thing that amazed me about New Yorkers is that they didn't sleep much. They worked a lot. And they worked and they worked and they worked and they worked. And they were amazing people. I love New York. I love New Yorkers. But what I saw is that there wasn't a lot of time for self-reflection because they were just grinding it out, just going and going and going. And then they eventually found themselves in a place that was not healthy for them, in a place where they weren't happy. That's just the bottom line, a place where they were not happy. So what happens if you're one of those people, right? And you're not happy and you are, you're doing all the right things and you're just confused. Well, what people will tell you, right, when the medical system tells you and what TV, I love being in Costa Rica because we don't get these pharmaceutical ads. But when I go back home to Los Angeles every once in a while, I live here full-time in Costa Rica, but when I go back to Los Angeles, I see all these pharmaceutical ads. And half the ad is telling you the disclaimers about what is going to happen as a side effect potentially. And it's absurd. Okay, so if you're one of these people to find yourself in a position where you're kind of feel trapped and you're not able to use the tools you have, you're a smart person, you have a lot of resources available to you, and still can't quite get there, right? What I would recommend is coming to Rythmia, because what we do here is we cut through all the BS. I meet with guests every week, and I don't beat around the bush. And you guys that are watching this that have met with me can attest to that, right? Because what I do, I just call it like it is. I just call it out, because I don't have 10 to 20 years to work with you. I got about 30 minutes. You have 1 week at Rythmia to get to the bottom of what's going on. So how do we measure our emotional growth? The way we do that is how others are perceiving us and how we feel ourselves internally. Now, when I'm in turmoil, right? When I'm in turmoil, I feel anxious, I feel depressed, I feel triggered to use drugs and alcohol, I feel agitated and angry, I feel like I want to check out, I don't want to be with my family, I don't want to be with my friends, I feel that, like, work is a burden. Okay, that's how I feel when I'm like not emotionally progressing. But when I'm emotionally growing and I'm plugged into myself, okay, how I feel is I look forward to social situations. I also look forward to time for myself. I look forward to things that are plugging me back into me. When we tell the guests when they get home to have a spiritual practice, a daily practice, 5 minutes a day, every day. And a daily practice really depends on the person what that is. For me, it's surfing. I don't surf for 5 minutes. I surf for an hour, or maybe 2, if the waves are good. I like to exercise. I like to go for a swim in the ocean or the pool. Okay, that's my daily practice. Daily practice doesn't have to be sitting there and going, and meditating, but it can be. And that if you do that, right on. But if you don't do that, you don't have to. Daily practice can be walking your dog. Okay, a daily practice is a time where you plug into yourself and you sit with you and you meditate. When I cook and I clean the kitchen, that's my daily practice, because I love doing that. I love providing food for my family. I love sitting there and meditating on these amazing holistic foods. And that's my daily practice. The way you can measure your emotional growth, 2 ways. How are other people perceiving you? And what is your emotional connection? What are you feeling yourself? Are you plugged in? Are you grounded? Do you have anxiety? Do you have drug and alcohol things that are starting to come up? It's like so many people in the world, when they get home from work, they crack a bottle of wine, or they start to go get a couple drinks, and they do this every day. It's their way to decompress and relax. How much more beneficial would it be if they just plugged into who they were as people and talked to friends and did something positive for themselves? It's hard. It's hard. Drugs and alcohol, wine, etc., beer, whatever. It's an easy way. It's an easy road to kind of numb out. What are you numbing out from? Are you numbing out from yourself? Are you numbing out from the world? Are you numbing out from other people? Are you numbing out from the issues you really have to deal with? Okay, well, that's okay. We've all been there. It's not bad. It's okay. I don't believe in bad. I just believe in improvement. If you come to Rythmia, we will show you what you've been doing, right? And what it means. You'll realize it for yourself, and then you'll make a new plan for something that's really amazing. A lot of the guests, when I see them on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when they get ready to leave, they're nervous because they got to go back to their old ways, their old system, their job, their family, all the triggering environments that caused anxiety and stuff, right? I say, don't worry. Don't worry. People will respond the emotional energy that you have. If you're clear and grounded and have this new positive vibe about you, the environment around you will respond. And those that don't respond, those that try to fight against it, are your enemy. And there's 2 things you can do with your enemy. You can let your enemy go, or you can try to work with your enemy and love your enemy. Because sometimes your enemy is a close friend or a family member. We don't want to let them go, right? Because we want them to we're always going to be part of their life, right? Okay, so it's so important to measure your emotional growth and know what it means. You guys that have been here before understand this concept. is something really important, because if, people come back to Rythmia sometimes because they want the camaraderie, they want to go deeper, they want to get 3 freedoms and 3 gifts and they want to get like just deeper in what they're doing. But sometimes people go astray. It's not that common, but sometimes they do. They want to come back to Rythmia to get back plugged into themselves, and get back on track. That's what we're doing. Come down for 1 week. That's all you need to do. Measure your emotional growth by how others perceive you and how you feel about yourself. Meds are a quick fix to something that it's like a Band-Aid. I used to do med management in Los Angeles and work with all my patients. They're all on meds. And, I didn't really see the benefit of it. Honestly, I just didn't see the benefit of it. Maybe somebody in my field has seen the benefit, but I just personally, myself, I didn't see the benefit, because people were always going through the same situation over and over and over again, regardless of meds or not. Now, if somebody is suicidal and meds help them not do it, fine, cool. I'm all about meds. But meds don't fix the problem that people are going through. Meds sort of like numb out the emotions that are happening for people and prevent people from actually feeling things they need to use as motivation and fuel to make a shift. So at Rythmia, the way we do the plant medicine is, you have to be off your meds, but when you do the plant medicine, it rebalances your neurochemistry, so you don't need meds anymore. A lot of people, most of the guests don't go back to meds. They're done. They don't need them anymore because they realize who they are. They have a new set of tools. So I would really love to meet you guys that have never been here before, because you're going to be excited about what's happening for yourself. This is hard work. I meet the guests on Saturday and Sunday. They're all excited. They're nervous, and halfway through the week, they're like, oh, they're struggling. But by the end, they are referring family, friends, and bringing the rest. It's like crazy what's going on down here. All I can say is you guys deserve this. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be successful. You deserve to be plugged into yourself. Come down here and check this out. Sorry, I'm at my house right now. I got a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old. It's hard to break free and go up to the Rythmia, but I'm up there, Anyway, so I'm here from my house in Hacienda Pinilla. Thanks for watching, you guys. Measure your emotional growth by how you feel as an individual and how other people in your life that are close to you perceive you. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Pura vida.